Hey guys, welcome back. It's Sabrina, and today I want to talk to you about yarn. So we went over hooks last week, and now let's go over yarn. Yarn, I have 0 through 6. There is a number 7, a jumbo that I do not currently have. So I'm going to go over the different weights, fibers, maybe different terms you have heard. We're going to look at the label, and then we're going to look at a couple of projects to show you just how different the different weights will look depending on your project. So let's start off with the weights. This is 0. It's called lace or thread or fingering. My notes say you can use a 2 or a B hook. The label will always tell you a recommended hook size, so you don't have to memorize any of this. These are used for doilies. I have a shawl going, and I will show you that here in a minute. This is number 1, super fine fingering or sock yarn. You'll use a hook B through E, B, C, D, or E. Also used for socks and shawls and whatever you want with a finer yarn. Next is number 2, which is fine, also known as sport weight. Right here. You use an E through G hook, E, F, G. Baby or light sweaters, whatever you want to use it for. Number 3 is light, also called DK, double knit. You can use a G, H, or I hook. Mittens, scarves, hats, socks, and blankets, whatever you want to use these for. This one I'm also using for a shawl. Okay, oops, this is out of order. This is the number 4, medium or worsted weight, also called Aran, I, J, or K. Blankets, scarves, mittens. I use this for my soft toys. Number 5 is bulky, M/N, K through M/N, I'm sorry. Heavy sweaters or blankets. I also used this for a soft toy recently, and I have plans for a blanket for this. Super bulky, M/N through P/Q. Okay. There you go. Alright. So, we went through the weights. All of the hook sizes that I mentioned are all suggestions, recommendations. They are not by any means you have to use this. You can use whatever feels right with the project you are working on. I have used something as small as a D hook with the worsted weight. Okay, so it just depends on your project and what your goals are for the project. Let's go over fibers real quick. So acrylic, 100% acrylic. This one is, I believe, 97% acrylic. You're going to have to feel the different brands to know what you like. It tends to be a little on the rougher side, but I use this for just about everything. I have soft toys made out of this. I have made scarves, gloves, shawls, everything out of this worsted weight 100% acrylic. The good thing also about 100% acrylic is if you're going to make donations, say for shelters or anything, you'll probably want to use 100% acrylic because you can wash this in hot water without any damage. That's a good thing about 100% acrylic. We also have 100% wool, natural fibers, right here. Wool is, of course, always kind of a rougher fiber. It just depends on what you want your project. You can also felt the wool. I have a felted bag that somebody made me out of 100% wool. So you can always felt this fiber. Another natural fiber that I actually have right here is llama. It's much softer than the wool. And of course 100% cotton. So this is recommended for any items you're making for those with sensitive skins, babies, children, garments. I have also made shawls out of this. So this is a good one. Some terms that you have heard that maybe you might not know. Let's say variegated. Variegated means 2 or more colors in the yarn. This is a variegated yarn. We'll also have heard of faux fur or eyelash. It's generally the same thing, just a different brand. So it has these fibers coming off of the central strand here. Some people find this hard to use because while you're working there's a lot of these things sticking out and it's hard to see your stitches. Usually when I use this I pair it with a worsted weight, just because that's what the maybe what the project calls for anyway, for a soft toy. I also know somebody who uses this to make pet beds. So this is not a bad yarn. Some people just have difficulty seeing the stitches. I also have novelty yarn here somewhere. Here we go. So novelty yarn will just be something not clean like this, probably. It'll have things coming off of it, like this has little ribbons and sparkle, and people also find this very hard to work with. But you just have to figure out if you want to work with this. If this is what your project calls for, then great. If not, great too. Let's see, what else do I want to cover? So here is, so let's go over cost real quick. So your most cost efficient yarn will probably be worsted weight, Red Heart, Karen Simply Soft, a Lion brand yarn. In cotton it would be Peaches and Cream, Sugar and Cream, or if you go to Hobby Lobby it'll be I Love This Cotton, Crafter Secret Cotton. There's a lot of good affordable brands out there. It just depends on what you're doing and what you want to use. Some of the most expensive yarns out there, probably like the llama that I had right here, I actually didn't, it was gifted to me, so I don't know how much that was. This is my most expensive yarn. This is a silk and wool combination. This was $10 for 150 meters. So it can get kind of pricey, it just depends. Alright, so let's go over the labels real quick. Let's go ahead and use this label. First you're going to see the brand, Lion brand. You're going to see the collection, it's called Homespun. This one's called Homespun Stripes. I believe they also have a tweed and maybe something else. Okay, then you will see the weight. This skein weighs 170 grams and it has 185 yards. So this is important if you're working off of a pattern and it calls, say, for 400 yards. You know you're going to need at least 3 skeins of this. It's going to tell you the fiber content. It's going to give you a little swatch right here. So if you use this yarn with a K hook, 10 stitches across, 10 rows up, you should have a square that's 4 inches by 4 inches. This will also help you determine your tension, how tightly you are stitching your yarn. The weight, the care instructions. Not all labels will write out the instructions for you, but all these symbols are available online. Here is your colorway, the color of this yarn. And if you're going to be using more than one skein, you'll want to pay attention to your lot number. This is your die lot. If you have 2 different numbers, they could be off just ever so slightly, that you can't see while it's still in this skein, but once you put it into a blanket, you will be able to most likely see the difference. It might not bother you, and that's fine, but I know it does bother some people. So you're going to want to pay attention to that. As you saw with this one, it's Noro. color 18, Lot A. This is the collection Jonomi. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that. Here is your fiber content, your weight, and your length. What they recommend in your knitting needles. You're going to see that a lot. For some labels don't show you the crochet hook. And then your care instructions. I do believe this is a dry clean only, so if you are not into dry clean only items, take a look at the labels and it will tell you. What else I want to go? Let's do a little honorable mention. This is not yarn by any means. This is embroidery floss. I use embroidery floss and I crochet with it. I believe I use a B or C hook. I can't remember off the top of my head, or number. I can't remember what number I use right off the top of my head. Maybe 7. I do use that. So here's an example of that. Olaf's body is made up of Aunt Lydia, but his nose and the black and the blue is all embroidery floss. This is also good for features, facial features for soft toys. Okay. Oh, and I want to show you some shawls real quick with different weights of yarn, just to show you the difference. So these are not the same patterns, but they're kind of close. They're close enough. This is a super bulky shawl. This is the virus shawl, if you're interested. Super bulky. Okay, this is the fluffy meringue shawl in worsted weight. It is not the same thing. It is close, but not the same. So you can see right off the bat how much bigger the stitches are. And I also have a lace weight. So just so you get an idea that if you're going to use lace, it's going to be a lot more work. It's a very beautiful product, but it has a lot more work. Okay. Was there anything else I wanted to go over? I'm looking at my notes here. And the hook sizes that the label calls for, the hook sizes that I mentioned in the beginning for each weight, is not by any means what you are limited to. So whatever your project is and whatever hook you feel comfortable using, that's what you will use. Experiment with different hook sizes and experiment with your tension. Your tension might also determine which hook size. If you have a very loose tension, then you're going to want to probably choose a smaller hook. If you have tighter tension and you don't want a really tight stitch, you will go up a size or 2 in the hook. Okay. I think that's all I wanted to cover. I'm looking at my notes. That's pretty much all I wanted to cover today. So thanks for watching. You can find me on Ravelry, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you have any questions, contact me there. Thanks for watching. Bye.